Hello everyone, welcome to whatever I end up calling this. I guess this is sort of fanfiction, but it's more just some ideas I have. I sincerely doubt anything will come of this, but a boy can dream. So, Mass Effect Andromeda doesn't have any Geth in it, but that doesn't mean they can never show up in the future. That's what I'm talking about today, my ideas for how the Geth could return to the series. Here's what I'm imagining. The Initiative picks up a signal that is obviously meant for them, as they can tell it's from a Milky Way source, except it's coming from a distant star system well beyond Helios. So you and your ship go out to find whatever sent the transmission, and to figure out why it's there. You're not sure what it could be. Maybe a damaged ship that got really lost? You really don't know. Well, you follow the signal down to a rocky, arid planet, and you see, boom, an entire base with a huge faded purple spire in the center, and all around it are AA guns and parked ships, leaving no doubt about it, the Geth are in Andromeda. Just as you're starting to process it and everyone's thinking, what, how, why, your ship gets a message, and all it says is, peace. You're then flanked by two ships, and in addition to those AA cannons, you kind of have no choice but to trust them, because it's clear you're not getting out of there unless they let you. So you get escorted to a landing pad where you step off the ship and see a small group of Geth to meet you. They welcome you, they apologize, and they proceed to escort you further into the base where they give you the short version of what's going on. They basically tell you how long they've been there, what they've been up to, and why they contacted you. And this could be with your Geth squadmate later on the ship, but at one point you gotta ask, why did you come to Andromeda? And they say, to learn. They say something like, organic species in the Milky Way developed along a path as dictated by the old machines. We wish to see how life may have developed without their interference. So again, they give you the short version when you arrive, but they eventually break it down for you. Here's what happened. We learned from Suvi that the Geth built a faster-than-light telescope to observe distant stars. Like I mentioned before, they had planned to come to Andromeda to learn, and this would have taken place any time less than 2 years before the Initiative left. The Geth have countless individual programs, so they load up a big ship with a couple million of them, along with a couple of bodies and materials necessary to, get set up, and they sent it to Andromeda. They knew that one ship wasn't going to last forever, so they would need to mine for materials to build more bodies, server hubs, computers, and so on. So along the journey, they essentially enter a form of synthetic hibernation, kind of like cryostasis. Because they're Geth, they wouldn't really get bored, but the alternative would be having spent the journey just building consensus for different things. But they communicate in short range at the speed of light, and this is a 600-year journey. There aren't that many things to think about on the way, and they aren't really going to get many new experiences to think about while traveling through dark space. You can just say they were saving processing power or something. Anyway, they get there, they get set up, they start mining, building, observing, and while observing, they eventually find 2 or 3 other races, one of which is the Geth, and the others are totally new. But they don't contact any of them yet, as they don't have enough information. Eventually, a few platforms do accidentally come into contact with the Geth, and, well, you can guess how that turned out. Fortunately, the Geth never learn of their true origin because we all know the Geth are good at hiding. And any platforms that the Geth may have captured would have fried their memory cores when they died, preventing the Geth from being able to trace them back to their base or where they came from before that. So anyway, they're there for no more than 2 years before the Initiative shows up. But once they do, the Geth are like, alright, cool, but they're probably still afraid of us, so we better stay hidden. But as they monitor Initiative transmissions, they learn that their Pathfinders are using AI. So now the Geth are like, alright, maybe there's a chance we can convince them we're not a threat then. So they build consensus, send out the transmission, you meet them, they explain themselves, and then a Geth joins your crew. First of all, as opposed to the other Geth we've heard speak, this one has kind of a softer voice. Not quite feminine, but not masculine either. So it introduces itself by saying something like, this is an advanced platform. Designation, Whisper. You see, the platform got its name because, like Legion, it was designed to operate covertly in organic space. In layman's terms, it's a spy bot. You could say there's maybe only 2 others like it in Andromeda, each with a different task. Again, like Legion, it can run around 1,000 programs within its body, as opposed to the average platform, which can only run about 100. Now, we do not want a repeat of Legion. Legion was perfect for what he was, and trying to recreate him will not work. Remember how I said Whisper would have kind of a softer voice? Well, that should be reflective of its quiet yet curious personality. After all, it was designed to silently observe. Anyway, back to the Geth at large, their presence in Andromeda would definitely cause some problems with the Quarians. I'm guessing their Pathfinder is also making use of a SAM, so we know at least some of the Quarians aren't totally against AI. But the Geth could be another matter entirely for them. Hell, since this takes place after the attack on the Citadel, it could be another matter entirely for everyone. And this of course happens before the Reaper invasion, so the people of the Initiative wouldn't all know about the Geth's true nature or the division between them and the Heretics. Speaking of which, this could be a good opportunity to explain some more stuff about the state of the Milky Way. What I'm imagining is talking to Whisper and asking if they've been able to contact the Geth back home. It would say something like, "No, we sent a message confirming our arrival, but have received nothing in return. Perhaps the old machines successfully completed their conquest, or perhaps organic species effectively eradicated the Geth. Perhaps the designated means for which to receive our messages were altered or destroyed. Unless we eventually receive a response, there is likely no way to know for sure what has happened in the time since our departure." So, it's a cop-out of any confirmed explanation, but it's better than just shrugging our shoulders and going, "I don't know." So there you have it, guys, my idea for how the Geth could show up in future Mass Effect installments. So be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section. I'll see you later.